Okay, so you've got it, that brilliant, world-changing idea, the one you just know is a winner. But here's the big question, right? How do you actually turn that idea, which, let's be honest, is a huge risk right now, into a real, validated business? Without blowing all your cash and wasting years of your life. Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. Let's get into it.
All right, let's just address the elephant in the room. This is the question that keeps every founder up at night. We've all heard that scary number, right? 9 out of 10 startups, poof, they're gone. But why? Is it because they ran out of money? Or maybe their marketing just wasn't good enough? What is the real killer here?
It almost always comes down to this one brutally simple reason. They built something that nobody actually wanted. It's heartbreaking, right? You see founders spend months, sometimes years, locked away, polishing this perfect product, all based on what they think people want instead of what people have actually told them. They're basically building in the dark.
But here's the good news. It absolutely does not have to be that way. And that brings us to your guide through all this uncertainty.
So, what is FounderScope? Well, think of it as your startup co-pilot. It's this one central place where you can map out your entire business model, validate all those risky guesses with real customers, run experiments, track all your progress, and this is the big one, make those tough pivot decisions based on hard data, not just a gut feeling.
Okay, so first things first. We've got to get that amazing idea out of your head and onto a screen. It's all about charting your strategy.
Step 1 is mapping your business model. Inside FounderScope, you start with something like the business model canvas. And look, this isn't just busy work filling in boxes. This is about taking all those assumptions swimming around in your brain and getting them out in the open. Who are you selling to? What problem are you really solving for them? How are you actually going to make money? So you might write down, my customers are busy professionals, and they'll totally pay $29 a month. Great. Now it's not just a thought. It's a testable hypothesis on your map.
Okay, step 2. Now we go deeper. This is all about understanding your customer on a whole new level. We're talking about real empathy here. What is the actual job they're trying to do in their life? What are the pains that get in their way? Things like, grocery shopping is such a time suck. And what are the gains they're secretly wishing for? Like, man, I'd love to save 30 minutes every time I cook. This part is crucial because it makes sure you're building a painkiller, not just a vitamin.
All right, you've got your map. Now it's time to move from planning to doing. This is where we start finding the risk.
So what even is a risky assumption? It's pretty simple, actually. It's any idea that's 1, super critical for your business to succeed, and 2, something you're really, really uncertain about. And our whole mission, the entire game we're playing here, is to drag those scary, uncertain ideas from the high-risk column over to the validated fat column. And this is where FounderScope gets really powerful. It helps you look at your map and immediately identify those deal breakers. So instead of just a vague worry, you get these sharp, clear questions. Will people really pay $29 for this? Can our AI actually do what we claim? Your mission becomes crystal clear. You have to answer these questions before you even think about building the full product. So now you know what to test. Step 3 is all about designing the experiment. The platform guides you through it. You pick your weapon of choice, maybe it's a customer interview or a simple landing page. Then you write a super clear hypothesis, and this part is key. You define exactly what success looks like before you do anything. We're not talking about fuzzy goals like, I hope people like it. No, we're talking about a hard number. Like, if 8 out of 10 people I talk to say this is a huge problem, then my hypothesis is validated.
Okay, so we've run our experiment. Now we get to the learning loop. This is the engine that drives everything. At the core of all this is the famous build, measure, learn loop from the lean startup world. It's simple, but so powerful. You build a tiny experiment to test something. You measure what happens with real data. Then you learn from those results to update your original idea. And you just do it again and again and again. It's this constant cycle of learning that pushes you forward. And here's what that looks like in the real world. Remember that assumption? Customers will pay $29 a month? Well, you go out and do the interviews. The evidence comes back. 9 out of 10 people said, no way. And just like that, boom, your assumption is now invalidated. Now that might sting for a second, but that's not failure. That is an absolutely priceless piece of information that just saved you a ton of time and money. What's great is that FounderScope organizes this whole messy journey into clear stages. It basically acts like a checklist to make sure you're not getting ahead of yourself. Have you actually proven there's a real problem before building a solution? Check. Do you have product market fit before you start spending money on growth? Check. These checkpoints stop you from making that one fatal error, hitting the gas on a business that's fundamentally broken.
So all this work, the mapping, the experiments, the learning, it all leads to this, the moment of truth, the data-driven decision.
This is the kind of aha moment that changes everything. You go into your interviews and you find out, okay, busy professionals are not going to pay $29 a month for this. But then you discover something incredible. But these meal kit companies, they'd gladly pay $500 a month for the same software. That's not a guess anymore. That's a game-changing revelation you found because you went out and talked to people.
And that one insight leads directly to this, the pivot. A smart, strategic change in direction. You're not just winging it, you're following the data. In this case, you're shifting from a tough consumer market to a much more profitable business-to-business model.
And let's be really clear about something. A pivot is not failure. It's the exact opposite. It's proof that you're learning. It's a smart, strategic move based on evidence that probably just saved your company from going down the wrong path for years. This whole process is about giving you the confidence to make that hard call.
Now, this all sounds great, but there are definitely some common traps we need to avoid.
It's so easy to fall into these traps, right? You jump right into building stuff, you only listen to the good feedback, your goals are all fuzzy, you try to test a million things at once. It's a recipe for disaster. But a structured process, like the one in FounderScope, acts as your guardrails. It forces you to do the hard stuff, like talking to customers and learning from the experiments that don't work out.
And in the end, everything we've talked about, it all boils down to this one massive question that every founder has to answer.
Persevere or pivot? The answer shouldn't come from your gut or your ego. The choice is always yours, but the difference is you'll be making it with the confidence that only comes from having cold, hard data to back you up. Look, the journey from a great idea to a real business isn't about blind faith. It's about learning. It's time to stop guessing and start validating.